I'm Ronald Treheyo, and this is Truth Be Told. We are live on BTV, National, and also on DreamTV. And today, we are going to be looking at Coffee Act, Uganda Coffee Development Authority Act, that had to be dissolved today, but the fate of it is not yet decided, in spite of the long day that Parliament had. I'll be joined later, I think she's on her way, Shadow Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Asnas Nyakato, who is Woman MP, Hoima City. I believe she's on her way, because we must be with her today so that we can discuss. Yesterday, they read reports. Two are watching us for the first time, but I know at least if you've been following social media, it has been fire, it has been hot. People were talking about coffee. Everyone was talking about coffee. Some people were saying emwanyi yafe, literally meaning our coffee. So, yesterday, Parliament received reports from the Committee of Agriculture, which was responsible for the resolution of, for the rationalization of Uganda Coffee Development Authority and other agencies, by the way. For example, Uganda Air Corporation, NADS and others. It's a committee that is responsible in Parliament that has to do that role. So when NRM sat down, or when Cabinet sat down, they decided that some MDAs or some organizations within government can be dissolved so that they can save some money. Among those, including, we have Uganda Coffee Development Authority, which has caused tension around the country. I was told by people who were in NRM caucus that one MP had to stand up and tell President Museveni that the problem is that you don't know what is on ground when he touched coffee. But he definitely said, I know what I'm doing, and even this was introduced by me, so I know. And that conversation ended there. We have seen many press conferences that has been held by Uganda caucus, led by Mwanga Chivumbi, led by many other people on the same topic. And we've seen many people talking about it. In fact, we've come to discover that today, we came to discover that all the regions in Uganda are now practicing coffee farming, which means coffee is a different thing. They are moving out from how colonialists had set us. So in the report, they all recommended, let me get back to the report. The report that Honorable Linda Uma, who's Woman MP leader, in all they gave out was like, UCDA, or Uganda Coffee Development Authority, had performed very, very well, had performed very good, because it's one of the few entities in this country that does not get money to support it. Get me very well. It's the one of the few entities in this government that doesn't get money from our taxes so that they can perform their duties. So Uganda Coffee Development Authority make its money, and then they use that money to do the activities, and then even get a balance that is taken to national treasury. So I want to tell you, it's something that we can be proud of. Uganda Coffee Development Authority, everyone can say, if all MDAs were performing like that, it would be a different thing. It would be different. And then here comes a government that wants to dissolve it. That's what is disturbing most of the farmers. They say UCDA had worked on their issues very well. They had managed to get them good contracts outside this country. They have managed to get them good market, and even people who have coffee. As I talk now, 1 kilogram of coffee is at 14,000. Depending on region where you are, 14, 13. So it's an achievement. I remember when I was young, we used to sell 1 kilogram at 1,700. so many years ago. So it means something, there's some value that this organization has been doing that most people maybe have not been recognizing. However, so after all those things being talked about, UCDA, she concluded by saying this organization need to be dissolved. I will have to pick some calls later, but I need to give you this background so that you can get what we are talking about. In fact, yesterday, it was another fire. It was fire at the floor of Parliament, and we didn't see it being discussed. There were 3 reports. One was from the chairman, another one was from the shadow minister, who must be with us here. I don't know why she's not yet here. I've not got any communication from her, but she had to be here. She was suggesting that Uganda Coffee Development Authority must not be touched, must remain as it is, in spite of the fact that government was asking for 3 years, because they say that it will be dissolved after 3 years. And some lawyers came in and were saying, no, that is debating, that is deciding in anticipation. Why can't we wait after 3 years and then you dissolve it? Why dissolve it now? So many people have been talking about this. Then ministers have to come out and say they want to save from the costs of operations and everything. However, people seem not to get it. Public opinion, 90%. You go on YouTube, you go on check websites, check social medias of different televisions, of different media houses, you will see people are pro UCDA, which in most cases is not the case, but it seems there is something different within UCDA. So Nyakato came out and read her report, a minority report, and then we had another report, a minority report from Dr. Abed Bwanika. You need to know that Parliament provides for any person who wants to give a report as soon as you belong to that committee, even if you're one. And Abed Bwanika was one of those who had a report and he read it. And he concluded saying he wants it dissolved. Everyone was shocked, but asked for 5 years, which also made one MP called Abeka Kawaria to ask him, whom does he work for? Abeka Kawaria asked Dr. Abed Bwanika, whom do you work for? Because they didn't expect this from a member of Parliament who is opposition from Masaka, a rich coffee growing area. Now, that was it. Today, at around midday, the second reading was announced by Speaker. The first people who took part were people from northern Uganda, and most of them were supporting this, and among them was Honorable Kia Joan Madiokoro, who is a woman MP, Madiokoro, and she was pro this. So she was supporting that UCDA must be resolved, and she said that we can't give all the things, we can't give all the opinions, all the benefits, or everything to UCDA, yet agriculture has been working on them. So probably it was another thing that needed to be, that one. Another thing that needed to be thought about. We say that you might be there focusing on UCDA, you might be there thinking that it was UCDA that saw coffee success in Uganda, but it was a combination of many factors. It was a combination of NARO, it was a combination of Ministry of Agriculture, it was a combination of good governance, according to her, which many people disputed, mostly MPs who are from opposition side. So it's so the debate caught fire. By the way, before I continue, my guest is here. I think in a few seconds we'll be with her, and she'll be telling us more about it. But So with that, we saw what you've seen in our news and many other things. Let me bring in my guest. Honorable Nyakato Asinas is a woman MP, Hoima City. Honorable, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Dream and Bunyoro TV, as you know.
Dream and Bunyoro TV. I want to say good evening.
Don't feel offended to put in some Bunyoro words.
Ababunyoro myenda Bunyoro kitani baramukeni ngamba nti mwasiba omuta mwebale mukuteekayo emikono kandi mukama wetabaire alombusaasi and tufunye amahoro amalwala gagamba nti is getting better tukisimira mukama Ruhanga. I want to appreciate whatever that our Ugandans are doing to ensure that they survive in this economic crisis. My name is Nyakato Asinas. I'm the one MP for Hoima All City, but also the Shadow Minister for Agriculture and the former Shadow Minister for Energy and Mineral Development.
Honorable,
I'm so grateful for your invitation, DreamTV and the BTV.
Yes, thank you very much. Honorable, we are going to start and we'll be very speedy. Starting with your report, it seems like some MPs didn't really believe what you said. They think, when we consider the votes and how it turned out, you as a person, first give me the background of your report and why you think it's what Ugandans would think that's what should be considered, or that's what people should take.
The report we are talking about is for the Uganda Coffee Development Authority Bill, Amendment Bill 2024. It was referred to the Committee of Agriculture on 24th September this year, and earlier on in April, the same bill had been referred to the same Committee of Agriculture, and fortunately, overwhelmingly, majority of the members of the committee rejected the bill. And good enough, when it was brought before the parliament, the report was overwhelmingly rejected by the whole House. And that was a very big achievement to the 12.5 million coffee farmers who are earning a livelihood, who are educating their children, who have been able to survive and at least be in the middle income status, self-employed because of coffee. So unfortunately, this time when we were scrutinizing this bill, we did run an advert on 10th this month.
Yes.
And the advert was, at least you have to give 2 weeks, 2 weeks to our stakeholder, the public, for those ones who want to give in their submissions, their opinions, their views, and we opened it up to 18th, that was last Friday. So even amidst, and the rules of procedure are very clear that any bill before a committee at least has to take a maximum of 45 days. 45 days, the framers of the rules of procedure then, where Nyakato Asinas and now the 11th Parliament was not, they deemed it enough time, adequate time for doing the consultations, reaching out to the different stakeholders. If there is any new bill, the bill is a proposed law. It is a proposed law. And even the 45 days before they elapsed, the bill was already on the order paper. Since Monday, it was on the order paper. Yesterday, even today. And now, the opinions of those ones who appeared before the committee, one of the group that we received was the Uganda Parliamentary Caucus. We received the stakeholders from Uganda Kingdom. We received stakeholders from Bunyoro, the Bunyoro Coffee Farmers Association. We received the stakeholders from Bugisu Cooperative Union. We received stakeholders from Kanungu, Ankole, Masaka Farmers. We received the stakeholders from West Nile and other parts of the country, even individual stakeholders who deal with coffee farming. And overwhelmingly, 100%, all these stakeholders said no to taking back Uganda Coffee Development Authority back to the mother ministry. And unfortunately, the committee report that the chairperson of the committee, that's why you see most members in the parliament are saying we concur, whereas we concur with the support of the committee, because even our report, the minority report was signed by 8 members. 8 members of the committee, and these are opposition members. And
so you want to say that none of the MPs from NRM agreed to sign on the minority report?
None of them. By the way, there was too much intimidation to members, because the other time even the NRM signed and they overwhelmingly rejected. And I believe you're one of the persons who has been covering the proceedings of the committee. Members were so tough. They were so tough on this bill being passed just like that, because at the end of it all, most of us were farmers. Me personally, I'm a farmer. I deal in maize farming and chicken, poultry, the poultry.
In fact, Honorable, that's a question that is in public. The bill that was that was rejected by the whole House last time, what really changed within few weeks that saw people start adopting, maybe accepting,
of course, they were
see it dissolved?
Me, going by the members of the committee, I was most of them were receiving serious phone calls from the big position persons in government, but that we want this bill passed the way it is. That is the cabinet position. And you know, the first time that bill was brought before the committee, members were summoned to go to State House to meet the president.
Yes,
the Committee of Budget, the Committee of Finance, and the Committee of Agriculture. They all went to State House. And they were talking about a win-win. I don't know win-win with who, with the farmers, members of parliament, and the president, because most of these members of parliament do not grow coffee. They do not grow coffee, but however, they represent coffee farmers. And what their cabinet position was that at least they give it grace period of 3 years. 3 years, meaning that from today, when the parliament will have passed that law, effect after 3 years. So, and that was the position of that State House and the caucus. They even went to caucus, NRM caucus. They caucused, they came, they said, you know, we have to go with the position of the caucus.
Yes.
But remember, we are not voted by the caucuses that we subscribe to in parliament. We are elected by Ugandans. And I want to tell you that this bill, the agriculture committee that we are on, 70% of Ugandans are farmers. They are agriculturalists. They have employed themselves, as I have told you. For them, they have reduced the burden from government of now we are looking for jobs. For them, they are comfortable with their coffee farming. What matters is my coffee, when it gets ready. The yields. He can be able to sustain himself without burdening government.
So, I have this question. What will a farmer lose if UCDA is dissolved?
Now, one, dissolving it means you have killed. There is a saying in Runyoro. Omurunyoro tugire ekigambo nanko rufumo rugamba nti tosobola kuyita omwana kiro kindeno kagamba ojja kumuzika arabira emyaka 3. Hati kuyita killing now, when you talk about dissolving, it means you are scrapping off, you are abolishing.
Yes.
You are abolishing UCDA, Uganda Coffee Development Authority. So when you abolish it today, and you say after 3 years, because that is the position of the cabinet and the NRM caucus, of course, overwhelmingly today, you saw what happened. The 159 members were against the 77. We on the other side of the opposition. And among those were some NRM leaders. And I've noted with concern that most of these members were from Uganda. Meaning nti abaganda bayine ekigambo emwanyi tekola ki
terimba.
Indeed emwanyi terimba. We saw members, though they are NRM, they said, you people, if we do this, we are sacrificing our people. Our people are coffee farmers. What shall we go back and tell them?
Because someone will say,
amidst the lobbying which was there, the Prime Minister was all over here, and the minister telling them, you people come and sign ours. We were also seriously telling them, you come and sign. You come and sign with the majority.
So where we were not seeing that's what was happening
in Parliament. So, and of course, there was so much which happened in the lobby. Lobby, it is a lobbying place. You have to lobby colleagues on the other side to come and join you. And what happened now in the House, what you saw, because of...
of time.
Yes. What happened in the House today, we are going to on the second reading of the bill.
Yes.
And you know, when you're on that second reading of the bill, that's when the debates and what?
Yes, committee sittings and what?
The debating, you are talking about the bill, what you think, the good and bad things of that proposed new law. And we had finished it. Then we were going to the committee stage. Committee stage now, that was reading clause by clause. Clause by clause. And when you go there, going by, the bill is here. This bill had very many issues. One of them, it was not signed by the minister. The minister did not sign. This is the bill of Frank Tumwebaze, is the Minister of Agriculture. He never signed it. And the rule dictates that before you bring a bill to be laid to Parliament, you have to have signed it. You have to have owned it as the minister in charge of that sector.
Yes.
So he never signed. He came to the committee. We raised the same issues. He never signed. We waited. We thought he would sign. He never at all. As a shadow minister, I labored to go to the clerk to Parliament, who is the custodian of the documents of Parliament, but also the Library of Parliament, to know whether the bills which are before there are signed. They were all not signed up to date. And this is an illegality also. It's an illegality, passing a law, debating a law, which has not been owned by the minister. Because tomorrow, we may wake up and he says, me, it was not my bill. Did you see my signature there? So all these are illegalities. And today now what happened? So when we were going to decide, now the committee stage, that's where commotion came in. When you got that stage, you have seen how our speaker takes things so stampede, fast. And the bill is so small. It has only how many clauses? The clauses are very few. There are very many. There are few clauses here. These clauses here, the main object of the bill is on clause 4. Clause 4, this one here, which is dissolving. When you finish this clause, you have killed it. Whether you are there in the house and you are for no, they will have taken everything. Because everything which comes after this clause of dissolving, the main object of the bill on clause 4 will just be, let's amend this one, let's change this one, just like you have already. So we had to stand up in opposition that we are not for, and we are not for. Indeed, you going for that stage. And the other side of the bill and the party, the other side of the ruling party, they first stood. Then we allowed them. Then when she said the maize, those ones who are not supporting, we stood. And people, I want to tell you, we are people who have been calling ourselves, and by law, we are a people-centered parliament. Even when we are swearing and also parliament, after becoming members of parliament, we say we shall protect, promote and preserve the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. Why do we say so? It is because this Constitution is the supreme law of the country. It is the law which protects the interests of Ugandans. So today what I saw in Parliament was just, I don't know how to call it, but it was really not in the spirit of the Constitution that we share. Okay, Honorable Nyakato,
I would like to ask you on behalf of people who are watching us.
Yeah.
Because if UCDA is dissolved, I will remain with my farm. My coffee will remain in my garden. What will I lose?
One of the issues why we are saying UCDA should stop. You know, UCDA, before UCDA, there was Coffee Marketing Board. Coffee Marketing Board, when it was removed, then an Act of Parliament came into force, which established UCDA. That was in 1991. And this marketing board, I mean the coffee, the UCDA, it is one of the entities, the agencies, which has fought so hard to fight for the quality coffee in this country, the quality of coffee in this country. It has helped farmers right away from the nursery beds, giving them seedlings. Of course, the ministry also does some of those works, giving them seedlings, educating them how to maintain quality right away from the nursery up to the time of harvesting, the drying, now even the market. One, we risk losing market because internationally, UCDA is a member of the international, the ISO. That is an agency which registers most of the countries which deal in coffee. And one of the things that agency helps is to look for market for the coffee farmers. And here in Uganda, the coffee farmers who are listening to us and also viewing us today, you know how good the price of coffee is today in this country.
Okay.
That all those ones have been because of the efforts of UCDA.
Okay, thank you very much,
The
Honorable.
UCDA has been a regulator. It has protected the farmer. A farmer in Kayunga, a farmer in Moroto, a farmer in Bunyoro, a farmer in Kasese Rwenzori, a farmer in Uganda. To see that the penalties of this country do not come and they really buy from your coffee.
Okay,
at a very cheap price.
I would like you to pause there a bit. I would like you to pause there a bit.
At a very high price.
I would like you to pause a bit. My producer, give me sound and a video of Honorable Okia John, a woman MP. She represents people of... you give me that lady, please, if you have her, and then you give sound to me so that I want Honorable Nyakato to pick something. She had something she was telling me on one-on-one.
Let me tell you, these things...
Are you guys set?
Honorable, so you're supporting that government should dissolve UCDA, for which many people think that we'll see coffee die, like other crops which farmers are crying with.
Yes, first of all, my name is Joanne Aniku Okia. I'm the Woman MP of Madiokoro District. First of all, I want to say coffee has helped so many people in Uganda. Coffee is one of the highest earning, enterprises that fetches a high income in this country. And that's why government has promoted it under the PDM. Now, the success of coffee has various factors. UCDA is definitely one of the factors that has led to the success of coffee, but it is not in isolation. UCDA Ministry of Agriculture has oversight over UCDA. Some of the functions of UCDA are to perform research and extension services. This research is not carried out by UCDA. They employ NARO to do the research. Even the extension services far away are done by this same Ministry of Agriculture. They work together because Ministry of Agriculture has a broad base. They have infrastructure in almost every part of this country. So the success of coffee is not tied to one agency. It's tied to a collective number of factors. For example, government liberalized coffee so that anybody who wants to grow coffee can grow coffee. It's not now government in charge and controlling the coffee production in this nation. Any private person who decides to grow coffee is free to do so. Investors who come to this country are free to grow coffee. And that is one of the reasons there has been success. Another reason is the National Coffee Policy, which was drawn up by still Ministry of Agriculture and this government. UCDA is following the coffee policy, the National Coffee Policy. They're not working in isolation. There's a misconception that people have that if an UCDA is dissolved, that now coffee is being dissolved. That is a lie, and that is propaganda. Even in our areas which UCDA had not yet reached, we are growing coffee. Why? Because of the PDM.
Producer, you've heard from Honorable Okia from Madiokoro.
She's entitled to her opinion, and her opinion is very right, according to her. My opinion too is very right. This is the bill that we are talking about. The bill is entitled, titled the National Coffee Amendment Bill 2024. Some of these members of parliament, they don't read, they just come to debate because they have mobilized them to come and pass, come and make quorum. The bill says in under clause, for why I want to read to you so that the voter, our viewers,
yes,
know what
they are voters,
about.
Of course.
The clause for, they call it clause in parliament,
yes,
when it is a bill. Dissolution of Coffee Development Authority. On the commission, they say, then they go and say, on the commencement of this act, the Coffee Development Authority established under Act 17 of 2021 shall be dissolved. Dissolved. So someone should say that the people are just saying what is not going to be dissolved. Dissolving means you are scrapping off something, you are killing something. Then clause 5 goes on and says, amendment of long title. That one now, it means they have scored government. They have gone with the cabinet position of dissolving it or scrapping it or killing it or removing it or abolishing it. An act to abolish the Coffee Development Authority, to transfer functions of the Coffee Development Authority to the ministry responsible for agriculture, to provide the ministry Those are the mandate. It means after killing it, when you kill someone, you transfer the dead body to go and do the same work. It means you have killed it. First of all, one, you are killing the spirit. One, again, you're killing the motivation. Two, you're killing the skills. They are talking about creating a department under the ministry. We have ministry, the Department of Fisheries under the ministry. We have the Department of Crop. We have the Department of Animal Industry. There are very many departments there. But if you look at these departments, their performance, how they have performed to help out farmers in this country, the Ministry of Agriculture has totally failed. First of all, the fisheries sector. Most times we interact with the Minister of Fisheries. He tells you, my friends, you know this thing. The army, the UPDF, has taken over the lakes. Why? Yet when we have the ministers, we have the 4 ministers under there in the Ministry of Agriculture. 4 ministers, all of them seated, but the lake has been taken over by the UPDF. The lake, the people, the fishermen today, they can no longer fish. Every other day they are arresting them, detaining them in unknown places which are not gazetted by government of Uganda. They are being tortured. Others are even losing their lives, falling in the waters, running. When they see these people with their uniforms, they are taking off. Under the supervision of the Ministry of Agriculture, we've had crops like tobacco. Me personally, I had over 2,000 plus farmers who had been cheated by Nimatabak, Continental companies, tobacco companies.
Yes.
They had been cheated for over 5 years. If it was not for the by-election of 2019, where I did commit myself telling them, you know, when I go to Parliament, I will ensure that they pay you, these farmers. The ministers are there seated, and they know. These are office people. They are not field people. These entities that we are talking about, these are entities which are field entities. Their staffs are always in the field. For them, they work on targets.
But someone will say, I want to pick from one of the people to say that yes, they performed, but we must agree that they were under the supervision of Ministry of Agriculture.
We are saying yes. We are saying yes. But also we are saying, why are these other entities which have been taken back to the ministry failing? It is true, coffee is an agricultural product. Automatically it has to go to be supervised under the Ministry of Agriculture. Why are these other projects failing, yet they are being under the Ministry of Agriculture? We have seen the Ministry of Agriculture, one, fail to deliver. Yes, this year I saw tractors, working tractors, which were delivered without they call them. We saw tractors which were given out without the plows.
Yeah.
We saw tractors which were given out, others without engines, others without the key spare parts which are supposed to be moving the tractor. The same ministry has failed to deliver on water for production in the different parts of the country. They come and launch a project, then they leave it there, it becomes the white elephants for the people in that community. The same Ministry of Agriculture has failed to deliver on the mechanization centers, where they are established. All of them are not functioning. And these mechanization centers are centers which have been, where too much money, taxpayers' money has been invested. They put them there, they leave it there. The other time when we were having a committee visit to the west, who happened to go to Chiruhura and Intungamo. There, when they realized that the committee was going there, she put some madams, like I think within a week, then took there some new tractors to confirm that the project is there. Yet it has never been there. In Moroto, we went there, the same thing. In Imbali, they did the same thing.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable. Let me have this.
Ministry, which is failing to deliver on just small things. Today, let me tell you, our rice, our maize cannot cross the borders of Kenya, cannot cross the borders of Tanzania, South Sudan. When the farmers, after the harvests are too much, they close the markets, the borders, they come and purchase very cheaply from our farmers. Then when they know that the season is ending, then they do what? Now for them, they open the borders and go and start selling. All this is under the supervision of the ministry. And who are doing these ones? It is the ministry.
Someone will ask you, why is it that you've not been bringing out these things to people, like Parliament, or maybe you impeach the minister because he's not doing his work?
Let me tell you, these ministers are paid. They have everything. They have staff of over 500 plus at the Ministry of Agriculture. Do they need a member of Parliament, members, colleagues? Even the farmers, coffee farmers, to remind them that you people, the fishermen, to remind them that you people are supposed to protect us. We passed the agriculture, the aquaculture, the fisheries, and aquaculture bill 2020 to up to now. the ministry with 4 ministers, over 500 staff has failed to come up with a regulation to protect the fishermen on the lake.
Are you saying this because you belong to opposition and then you're trying to...
No, I want you to understand me. I don't want you to be a biased moderator. Because all this, I'm trying to give you evidence, facts, so that you understand the angle that we are coming about from, and the reason why we are saying no. These are very unique entities which have specialized staff, which have really done their best, and you know, so being an agency, this agency is that ISO, the international regulatory body for this, the one which registered the UCDA, can only deal with UCDA, not with the ministry, not with the department in the ministry, and while interacting with the experts in these issues of accreditation and the certification, they told us that that process can take minimally 5 years.
So no, we want to say that in the whole government,
but it can take 5 to 10 years.
Oh no, pause a bit.
But
in the whole government, with over 500 technocrats, with over 5 ministers, with the president and the cabinet, sat down and they could not think about that what they are calling for or what they are pushing for can cause all these problems.
We are trying to guide you. Our neighbor Kenya, when the coffee market, they had a coffee board. When they removed that coffee board, the country lost 70% of the coffee in terms of the returns, in terms of the money they were getting to the economy, in terms of employment opportunity, 70%. Not until 2021, the president had to reinstate. So
okay, let me remind my people. Let me have this mention. Let me have this mention before we leave this place. Let me remind you people about Nambole. 31st December will be Nambole Passover Festival. Don't miss. Come and be part of this great day. We'll be praying for our country. Next year will be a year full of campaigns. We need to pray for people who are pro people to come back and represent their people. And then they also for the people. So wherever you are, please make it a point to be with us on 31st of December. You know, it has been years without being in Nambole because there has been other renovation, COVID and what. But we are going back. Dr. Joseph Serwada will be waiting for you. We'll be praying for this country. We'll be praying for ourselves.
So that you know why they are coming. They're coming for prayers.
Yes, they're coming for prayers and you're invited.
I'll be there personally. I'll be there.
Yeah, you are invited. And
the people of Hoima City, most times we come there.
We'll be glad if you get like a coaster for them and they come. Thank you very much. Honorable, we have a few minutes to leave this space. My last question to you is, with all these...
But have you understood the reason why we are saying, you know?
Yes, but I'm asking myself now.
Me personally, I'm not a coffee farm.
Yes.
But I know, you know, this coffee, through the UCDA, we have been able to get 82.8 billion shillings. Just this financial year, the 2020-2024, which was taken to the consolidated fund. Against their budgetary allocation of 44. You give me 44 billion, then I bring 82 billion. Am I performing? I'm not performing. Then why do you want this? By the way, this UCDA was established by an act of parliament. It is the same parliament which is saying now we should kill you even if you are giving us. And that's people why the chairperson of the committee started very well, praised the thing. What we are number 2 in the whole of Africa because of UCDA. We are number 7 in the whole of the world because of UCDA in terms of quality, in terms of good prices, in terms of being regulated, in terms of returns. Then suddenly she lost it when she started concluded by saying now it should instead be taken back.
Let me ask you.
Yet the reason of removing it back from the
what does government benefit? Okay, in you as a politician and as a researcher, what do you think government is aiming at, or what will it benefit? Because
first of all,
yes, if it's resolved.
I think the president is being misled because these presidential advisors are supposed to advise the president after doing serious interaction and consultations from the public in their own way, not coming to TVs and what, interacting with different stakeholders of coffee, the farmers, the processors, the businessmen, the middlemen, and all those ones.
Yes.
They're supposed to do a research-based and informed policy before they go to cabinet. What we are seeing, there are very many errors which are here. First of all, the certificate of financial publications alone, they have very many issues. You tell us you're going to dissolve, then you are telling us out of 200 and plus staff, you're only going to take 79. Then again, you are saying there is no, you're not going to compensate these people. Then their contracts, yet their contracts are running. Some of them, most of them, their contracts are 3 years and above. They're still running. Now you are dissolving me. Again, my contract is running. People are going to go to court. They are going to court and challenge these laws that Parliament has made. And it's government which is going to go into costs of compensating these people. We saw REA, Rural Electrification Agency. It did the same thing when they brought those things of merging into the Ministry of Energy. Staff went to court. Up now, others are in court. A few staff were incorporated, and they were saying we are not going to lose this expertise. These are we are scientists. We need them. They left them out. They only went with their own. Whoever did not have a technical who in the ministry, most of them were left out. Now today they are in court. Who is going to incur all these costs? It is the taxpayer. It is government of Uganda. Now here we are saying, can we try to avoid some of these errors that we have been committing as Parliament, causing more financial loss to government? For them, they are saying when they brought those bills, there were over 34 bills.
Yes. 34,
38. The Prime Minister said that we are going to save over a trillion, but we have seen the IGG
report, yes,
say that every year Uganda government loses 10 trillions
True.
to corruption. We have seen the same IGG reports say that we have over 85 trillion shillings, Uganda shillings, which is just delayed in these commercial courts because of delayed justice and rulings. And this is a budget which is almost double the whole budget of this country. Now we are saying, can't this government think about such kind of if it's about saving a trillion, 85 trillion from those delayed cases which have been there for longer in the commercial courts, division courts. Can you go and look into those things? How can you recruit more magistrates and judges? They do the court backlog so that we recover that money. Can we get hold of these corrupt officials who eat the 10 trillion every year, and we recover and we get money if it is about saving? Because the main reason why they are saying saving, they are talking about they want to save. They want to save. They want to reduce duplication. They also want to ensure effectiveness and efficiency.
I have this message from Makori saying, he wrote in Uganda, bano bagala twavu wazaffe ng'Abaganda. Literally meaning they want to make us poor as Baganda. What do you have to say about that?
Of course, he's being genuine. He's being genuine because as we speak today, the biggest coffee producing region is Uganda, but also other regions like mine, Bunyoro, West Nile, Northern Uganda, Bugisu, even Ankole. Just earlier this year, we saw the president launching a coffee factory. It was in Ntungam, a coffee factory where they grow matoke, and it was just because of one person who had planted the coffee. So he's right, because I'm telling you, the ministry doesn't have the capacity, first of all, to look for the market. If at all it has failed to look for market for the tobacco farmers, for the vanilla, people had even planted the vanilla, then they cut it. Aloe vera, they planted excitedly because the ministry or the government was emphasizing, they cut it. It has failed to secure market for the cocoa farmers. It has failed to secure the fishermen's future. People have been fishing on the lakes, educating their children, making a livelihood. All that is gone. And they are all under a ministry called the Ministry of Agriculture. So when we say this Uganda Coffee Development Authority should not go back to the ministry, we are talking from a very informed point of view after doing thorough consultation from the Ugandans.
Okay, Honorable, when we get to this...
The 12.5
million, when we get to this...
It is 12.5 million Ugandans who are earning a livelihood from coffee. You know what that means to government?
Okay. Honorable, I would want you to switch to Runyoro. I want you to use the last 3 minutes. Is talk to people in Runyoro. BTV is watched. You know.
Emende ya Bunyoro kutaranyika in updating ekigenda mu maiso mu parliament this week tubaine itekeri kuletewa Uganda Coffee Development Authority eno ebaire entity bundi kibaye kitongole ekikaye nikiyamba habali mu bomwani bona kurwa kyabayamba kuseruza akatale kulinda omutino gw'omwani gwanyu kurugira kimumbero kubyalira ku spacingira ota ogulindira ota gufukira ota ogwanikira ota kurawa gulinda amutindo guli. As we speak now a kilogram ya mwani kiboko taro ero akasusu 8,000 even others 10 and in now guhiro akasusu kasi eri between mitwaro 12 to mitwaro 10 kichiweka that money I'm telling you a kilogram you are sure dinti esukali njaginywa amashiwa omuntu omulimi w'omwana jizasuwa da kusagura kasabunu omunyo izasuwa dinti akusagura ebitabo by'omwana wegenda isomero and the experts that went to takitingana expert bakatugamba nti maximum minimum if someone obaye neka mu y'omwana okagorolera kurungi ekitiki mukusakorwa kilo 3 to 5 kilograms just one tree but acre of land of coffee kusakorwa 15 million just a season, a single season. So hata aho muna Uganda ko botali mugaiga omunyoro omwenda omunyoro kya ko botali mugaiga. So that is a business, a project yo kubano rent assured deal nti kugenda kubano ogilimiro man today your first harvest you be assured of the 15 million. But why? Because kitongole kine kikwetwa Uganda Coffee Development Authority kibairo kubarwanira kurunanto omutindo gwasigaraho omuhendo gwasigara guli international busaka kujja kugulira musiri gwawe busaka kujja kuera muzanti nyonja kuhama yusiringi 5 siringi 8 ebo tibe bitaro but obutu ekitongole kino kigenda under the ministry kubani kemaisanti balekera ba blockers baje batusubule batudondole nkomekaine morora mu nsonga yetaba ebitoli nibigwa nibikasiringi 10 emichungwa lostaro the people of Soroti they even put a factory of mangoes but because it is under the Ministry of Agriculture those people amount of more. So
if you had power, you would dissolve the Ministry of Agriculture with all its workers.
By the way, Ministry of Agriculture need to be dissolved. And in any way, in this ministry, why we are saying, can it first prepare itself? First of all, they have been crying it by saying they have very limited budget. So such an ministry with an inadequate funding, will it be able to manage these? There are 4 bills.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable. We can't really go.
Coffee, to abana cotton, to abana anadis. All these things are going under the ministry.
Thank you very much, Honorable Jakato. We can't go beyond this time. I've been Ronald Tuheyo, and I've been with Honorable Jakato. She's so passionate about agriculture.
They had come, they wanted to bring her to market.
Thank you very much, Honorable Jakato. Thank you very much, Honorable Jakato, and let's call it a night. Have a good night. We meet tomorrow, same time, same TV. This is BTV National.